let's talk about Dak Prescott for a second and what he has accomplished in the last 4 games. And he said it. He's playing the best football that he said he's ever seen. Statistically, the stats and analytics would back up E's eye test that this is the best 4-game stretch potentially that we've ever seen Dak Prescott play. Now, since I'll just give a couple of stats and superlatives here. Since week 7, since that week 7 bye, he leads the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns in that time span. In the last 4 games for Dak Prescott, 72% completion percentage, 9.6 yards per attempt. He's got over 1,300 passing yards and a 125 passer rating. And he's got 14 total touchdowns, 12 passing, 2 rushing, and 2 interceptions. In the previous 5 games, he only had, and that's actually one more game, he only over 1,000 yards passing, 1,061, 4 passing touchdowns, and 4 interceptions with a 70 passer rating. This is when we're all talking about how the Texas offense is broken. It looked like it may be irreparably broken. But now the Cowboys have since week 7, so from week 7 to week 10, Cowboys have the second most 15-plus yard plays behind only the 49ers in that time span. And like I said, they've modernized the offense a ton, and they've done it with a lot of different concepts. They're moving Dak around a little bit more. Dak's using his legs a lot more. I think that's intentional. That's from Dak too. Dak's been under center less for some reason. He was under center more in weeks 1 through 5. The pre-snap motion rates have gone through the roof. Since the bye, the Cowboys are 8th in pre-snap motion rate. They were 14th prior to the bye. If you go look at their 3-by-1 sets and their bunt sets, that is also increased for the Cowboys. Their 3-by-1 sets and bunt sets have now increased. The Cowboys, now you go look at it, they're one of the leaders. They're like top 10 in the NFL in bunt sets and in 3-by-1 sets. So it just kind of modernized a lot of concepts. And Dak, he's playing more. He's playing with a lot more confidence, and looks like the Texas offense is going to be a pass-first offense, even though I know that Mike McCarthy said they were going to run the football. They really can't run the football right now. Tony Pollard's not playing well. I'll give you a sad stat for Cowboys fans. You're not going to like it. Tony Pollard, he is averaging fewer yards per touch than Zeke Elliott. Right
Dream
now.
killer. It's a dream killer on your fantasy team, Tony Pollard.
4.4 yards per touch. Zeke
should
at
have taken
4.5.
Dak.
You should have taken
Should
Dak.
have taken the big Dak energy.
Yeah, Dak's balling right now, man.
Well, look, and you talk about what you started at with the rant with his candidacy for the MVP, and it's kind of fun to have the Texans and the Cowboys with C.J. Stroud and Dak Prescott playing like 2 of the best quarterbacks in all of football as we head in towards Thanksgiving. But think about this, to your point, if he continues to play this, and look, this was against the games I'm talking about when they came out of their bye week. Clearly, they worked on a lot of things that you talked about in their bye week that you spotted ahead of the bye week, and they really went to work on them. They've come out blazing. The Rams are not a good team, but the Rams still have Aaron Donald and some really good defensive players. They shredded that team. And then he did the same thing to the Philadelphia Eagles on a Sunday night, who were a damn good football team at 8-1, best only one-loss team in the league. And they lost that game, but he played great. And then last week against the Giants, he put up big numbers. So, because texts are coming in saying, no, those are inflated against bad teams. Well, that's true, but here's the deal.
He played like that against Philly, too.
Listen to this. This Carolina game on Sunday will – he'll put up big numbers against the Panthers, I would imagine. But then he gets 3 straight primetime games, Rod, to really catapult himself into this conversation, because they play middle of the day on Thanksgiving against Washington, which everybody will watch. It's always one of the highest-rated games of the year because it's Thanksgiving, and it's the middle of the day. Everybody's either eating or about to eat. Then they play Seattle in a primetime Sunday night game or Thursday night game, Rod, the next Thursday. So they play Thursday and Thursday. They play the Thursday afternoon game, then they play Seattle on a Thursday night game, November 30th. Then they play Philadelphia on Sunday night. Mm-hmm. So 3 straight prime time, and then after Philadelphia, they go to Buffalo. Then they go to Miami. So if he's going to win the MVP, he's going to earn it. And he has a chance to play in huge, meaningful games. It's kind of like winning the Heisman Trophy, right? You want to play in big, meaningful games and big moments.
You need that Heisman moment.
Dak gets 5 in a row,
yeah,
and 3 of them are in prime time.
Yeah. No, like I said, I'm not disagreeing that you could argue that the competition is, obviously not elite, but there's no doubt about his performance, though. Hey, Dak's playing at one of the highest levels for a quarterback.
Yeah, I've seen Dak play against Arizona and not look very good.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, okay, that's not an elite team either, but he didn't look very good.
He didn't look very good. And in that game, he had the highest QBR for any quarterback in any game this season. So, like I said, yes, the Giants are terrible, but there have been other quarterbacks that'll play the Giants. They ain't played that well.
No, that's right.
He's just playing, and his QBR right now, I think, is third in the NFL right now. So and his passer rating is top 5. He's just playing at a really high level. That's all I'm saying. But I agree with E. He'll have a chance to really supplant himself in that MVP conversation because they don't have a running game. And much like C.J. Stroud, which I'll get into his MVP candidacy coming up next Raj rant, but Dak is going to have a chance to prove himself on the big stage because he'll have those marquee games. And if he plays anything like he's playing right now, he's going to be in the MVP conversation because there's not a front runner.
There really isn't right now.
Not this year. That's
why
not
C.J. Stroud's in it too.
Yeah, there's no front runner, man.
Well, and that's how you become a front runner, right? You put up huge games in the biggest moments, and because
they got to win. They got to win though.
Right.
They can't lose to Philly and
Well,
San
that's right.
Fran. Those big games
Well, look, I mean,
well.
he's put himself in a position now. The way he's playing, he can play his way right into it, or he can play his way right out of it. I mean, that's obviously what those games are about, and that's the trajectory though you're just pointing out.